Hey future CPAs, welcome to today's episode of CPAguide.tv. So today's CPA Review course review is all about the monster-sized Becker CPA Review. Now, before we dive into the review, what I like and don't like, and all the features that Becker CPA Review offers, I wanted to point out super quickly that directly below this video in the description and the comment section, I've got a few goodies for you that will really complement this video review and make your purchasing decision much more simple, and honestly, just make passing the CPA exam so much easier. So first up, I've got a list of all the current CPA Review courses promos and discounts. So be sure to check for the latest on ways that you can save off on Becker CPA Review and other top CPA Review courses. So if you found this review useful, go ahead, click the discount link below and help support my channel, since as you will notice, I do keep the channel ad-free just for you. So second up, do you know your CPA exam study personality? If not, it can drastically affect how you study and use a course such as Becker CPA Review. So head over to freecpaquiz.com to take the quiz and discover your study personality. And finally, I'm so excited to finally be able to offer my best-selling Amazon book, 8 Proven Steps to Passing the CPA Exam, for free for my YouTube viewers just like yourself. So head to freecpabook.com and pick up your free copy right from Amazon. Okay, so back to today's review of Becker CPA Review course. Let's hop back behind my computer and get started. All right, future CPAs, welcome to Becker CPA Review course. So this is the big dog. And as you know, Becker CPA Review is by far the most expensive CPA Review course in the industry. So let's see if it lives up to its price point and is truly the premium product that they claim to be. So here is the dashboard. It's very clean. There's the mobile app that will look fairly identical to this. So basically you can study on your laptop, your computer, your mobile device, and it all syncs up together in one lovely course. So the first step, of course, is to set up your study plan. So you're going to create a plan. So you pick the order that you're planning on sitting for the CPA exam. And then you select your exam dates. So let's go ahead and select, April 13th is when I'll take reg. I don't know about odd, FAR, or BEC. And then I plan to start studying, so that the recommended is 25 to 30 hours. My start date, let's do today's date. And then we can confirm. And then this gives us a summary of what I need to be doing when for regulation. And you can print it or head back to home. Okay, so now our study plan is completely set up. Let's go ahead and dive into the content. So as you can see, for reg, there's going to be 8 modules. FAR, there's 10, and the other 2 are going to only have 6. So something that's new for 2018 is that Becker now only doesn't offer the massive 2 to 4 hour lectures. They break them up into subtopics. So as you can see here, we have 6 subtopics within R1, which is really nice. But still, your lecture time is coming in at 55 minutes, 45 minutes. 20 minutes. So again, the lectures are much longer than many of the other CPA Review courses that are out there. So if you have a good attention span, then you should be a-okay. And if your study personality really complements learning from video lectures, then that's perfectly fine. But if you're somebody like me who has the attention span of a gnat, you might want to look at some of the other review courses that have shorter lectures and focus more on the textbook and multiple choice questions, because Becker, it really revolves around the video lectures. So something that is also new for 2018 is what's called the Adapt to You learning. So that it's Becker's take on this adaptive learning trend. So it's a way to basically test your knowledge before you dive into each section. So basically you take a pre-assessment here, and I don't know why, but they give you 5 different options. So basically you answer them, and based on your results, they'll let you know if they think that you understand everything that's in this particular section. So basically we got 1 correct, so only 20% correct. So basically anything that is less than 80% will be, you want to start with your lectures, then move to skill practice, then do multiple choice questions, and then simulations. So, it's not really that fancy. So, and to me, maybe I did get 80% correct. There's a chance that, A, I guessed and got 80% correct, and B, that I understand it now, but by the time I get to the exam, I'll have forgotten this particular topic. So to me, it just doesn't seem very useful, and it doesn't really help me know whether I've actually learned or understand something or not. So, if you score higher, they do recommend that you start with the skill practice and then, skim it. So I guess it's helpful, but still you want to make sure that you've touched just about everything that's in the textbook. So I don't really see too much value in it. And again, if you're not somebody who learns from video lectures, I wouldn't even necessarily start with the video lectures to begin with. So if you're somebody who prefers to teach yourself from the textbook. So again, I don't necessarily understand this technology and how useful it will be for some people. But for somebody like me, I wouldn't even start with lectures regardless of what my pre-assessment told me. I would start in the textbook and teach myself and so forth. So, again, I feel like this is just kind of a gimmick to, have a buzzword in terms of marketing. So, a lot of other CPA review courses have pre-assessments as well. But again, you remember something today, and then by exam day, you might forget it. So it's very important to make sure that you're keeping everything in focus so that you truly can remember it on exam day. All right, so the next step, of course, will be let's check out the lectures. All right, so basically the lecture dashboard is set up by page. So each individual page is going to have a voiceover lecture from the instructor. So they're not doing a side-by-side lecture anymore. It's just going to be complete focus on the textbook. So you can either use the electronic textbook here, you can bookmark, you can turn on the instructor notes, turn them off, turn on Chinese or English subtitles, change the speed, take digital notes, which will then be searchable. And here you can highlight parts of the text, and then let's see, once that is highlighted, then it will automatically pop up in the bookmarked section right here. So again, you no longer need the physical textbooks, which is really cool. And I love the ability to bookmark particular important topics to make it very easy to come back to later if it's a topic that's that you're struggling with. So let's go ahead and turn on the intro video here.
Hello, scholars, and welcome to the regulation number 1 session. Now, in this session, we're going.
So this is the only time that there's going to be a talking head type video. So once the intro video is over and everything autoplays, it will automatically move you on to page 1, page 2. And as you can see, he'll just start talking without you having to look at him. So that's kind of nice. And then, like I said before, the instructor notes, you can turn those on or off, which is also nice. So maybe you just want to skim through this particular video lecture without actually listening to the video lecture itself. So you can just turn those on and understand what's the most important topics and so forth. So again, a lot of customization, a very mobile responsive, very clean looking dashboard compared to a lot of other courses out there. So yes, this definitely feels like a premium experience compared to a lot of the other less expensive CPA review courses out there. Okay, so something that's also new is the skills practice. So this is kind of cool because now that the CPA exam focuses 50-50 on multiple choice questions and task-based simulations, it's important to focus on the big skill levels. So remembering and understanding, application, analysis, and evaluation. So these video reviews will basically walk you through basically different scenarios, and then you'll be given a simulation that you can answer. And then you'll get an explainer video as well to walk you through the answers as well. So again, this is a cool little feature. I haven't seen any other CPA review course companies add this particular type of learning material just yet. So I think Becker is definitely ahead of the curve in terms of preparing you for the different skill levels. And it's kind of nice to have some practice simulations built in with video lectures as well. And again, you can take notes and make highlights and add text and all that fun stuff as well. Okay, so then moving on, you'll have your practice multiple choice questions. So this is a typical Becker dashboard. So you're going to have a lot of analytics. So how many times have I seen this multiple choice question? Did I get it right the last time? And what's my overall score on that particular question? You can bookmark it. You can see it in within the individual lecture. You've got your calculator and all that fun stuff. So during a practice quiz, when you make a selection, it's going to let you know immediately if you got it right or wrong. And then we'll let you know what the right answer is and why. So this is a great opportunity for you to learn from these questions. And I believe Becker has about 6,000 multiple choice questions overall. So definitely a lot of tools that you can use to learn from. And so whenever you get it right, it's this lovely color of green. So right now we're at 50-50. So I'm going to end on the high note there. Okay, so then it'll let you know your average time per question, total time spent, and then, yeah, total number of questions answered. Okay, so, and then as you're going through these practice questions, it'll also update in your dashboard on how well you're doing. So some other options here are simulations that you can start answering some simulations. There's also digital flashcards. So let's take a look at these. So you just flip it around like that. So these are fairly useful. They'll really hone in on the most important topics. It would be nice if there was a way for you to create your own flashcards if you wanted to add to the database. But you can also filter, so basically on cards that you understand and so forth. Whoops. So if you know this one, you can mark it as mastered, and then it'll show up here. As it'll filter out the ones that you haven't mastered yet. So overall, it's a pretty useful little app within the software. Okay, so let's see here. Let's take a sample simulation while we're at it. So again, this is very similar to what you'll see on the real CPA exam. So again, you can answer each question. You can split it horizontally, split vertically. And so forth, and then let's go through and see. Yeah, so I mean, again, this is very similar to what you'll see on the real CPA exam. Okay. And exit. Yes. All right, let's get out of here. Okay, so let us go ahead. All right, so once you have completed all the subtopics within a particular area, you'll want to take what's called a progress test. So this is going to be, so there's going to be reports saved, saved tests that you've taken in the past, and then you can start a new test. So let's start a new test, and it will give you the ability to set the number of multiple choice questions you want to take, what your time allowed is going to be, and so forth. So it's going to help you prepare for the real exam. So this time, when you're answering the question, it will not tell you the answer right away, but you can still, bookmark, see in the lecture, and do all that research stuff that you need. So let's go ahead and answer all three questions. Oh, and I should add in that on each quiz that you take, there is access to academic support, which we'll be covering here in a little bit. But basically, you can it'll take the number of this multiple choice question, and you can ask academic support for assistance. Okay, so we've answered all three questions, and now it's going to give us the overall results for how we did. So basically, as you can see here, let's see, it looks like we got I can't remember which one of it. Anyways, yeah, it'll let you know, how many questions you answered, how many you got right, how many you got wrong, and what's the percentage. And then it will also keep a comprehensive look. So every single every single subsection that you've taken, it will maintain your results as well. And then you can go to that direct study module if you see that your percentage is extremely low for a particular subtopic. So basically, it's a good way to figure out where you need to be focusing your time as you go through the studying. And over time, this data will populate and you can monitor your progress as well. So overall, fairly decent multiple choice analytics. It gives you a lot of data that will help you figure out where you need to be spending your time. Okay, so yeah, like I said about the flashcards, let's see here. So let's talk about course access. So Becker only gives you 18 months access to their CPA review course. So if life gets in the way, you get put behind, maybe you failed a couple times, basically you have up until 18 months to use the Becker software. And after that, you would have to renew. Now, if you have failed the CPA exam, Becker gives you the opportunity to provide them with particular data showing that you did all the work and that you still failed. So I believe that you have to complete 100% of the, you have to have viewed 100% of the skills practice and completed correctly 90% of the multiple choice questions. So that is a ton of red tape that you have to go through. So, maybe you've gone through every single multiple choice question, but have only gotten 75% correct. That means you have to go through every single question that you've gotten wrong and then figure out what the correct answer is. So that's the last thing you want to be doing in the middle of studying for an exam, and it just creates a ton of busy work. And it just seems, when you're paying $3,400, it just seems very unreasonable to make you go through all this red tape when there are courses like Wiley CPAexcel and Roger CPA Review and Gleim that give you unlimited access until you pass. No questions asked, no red tape, none of this shenanigans that feel like kind of penny pinching. And when those courses are nearly half the price than what Becker's charging, it seems a little bit unreasonable and unfair to CPA candidates who are struggling with the CPA exam and obviously need additional assistance. So I was one of those people. I lost my access to Becker, and let me tell you, it was one of the most stressful things to find a new CPA review course, gain an understanding of how to use this CPA review course in the middle of studying for a section. Now, thankfully I was able to figure out how to pass, but it was a complete nightmare. And it's just something that you need to be aware of if you're using Becker, because life isn't always perfect, and only 20% of CPA candidates pass a CPA exam without failing once. So the opportunity for failure is unfortunately very high, and when that happens, it puts you behind, and plus you're working full time. And so I'm just letting you know that Becker is very strict on their software access, and if you don't meet their specific red tape terms of service, then you will have to fork out a ton of money to renew the software access. All right, so another little complaint that I have, or actually it's a pretty big complaint, is their customer support. So let me back out of this here. And if you look at, let's see here, contact there. Oop, wrong button, sorry. Go back. So contact us. So this is going to be your customer support dashboard. And as you can see here, they do have phone numbers, and you can also contact them via their contact form here, but they have very specific hours. So they're open for 12 hours on Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 7:30 Central Time, and then for a few short hours on Saturday. Now, the thing about this is that the majority of CPA candidates are working full time, so the time when they need questions answered is going to be on the weekend. So, you might send something at 9 o'clock on Friday evening, and then if somebody doesn't get to your email by Saturday morning, which they probably will not if you're sending it that late on Friday, you're going to have to wait until Monday or Tuesday of the following week to get a response. So to me, that is just, it's brutal. But you got to understand, Becker is a massive company, And that's just the name of the game when you are when you're this big. It's tough to treat individual people as anything other than a number. They also have a chat option, but again, it's only open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time, and it's closed on the weekend. So, I mean, their customer support is good. That when they get a response back to you, it is a quality response, but you just have to wait a decent chunk of time, and it can get very frustrating when your questions are mounting up, and you have to wait 2 or 3 days to get a response. So that's my two biggest complaints with Becker right now is the past promise and their customer support. Those things are well, there's three, and the price. I just feel like yes, everything they have is very logical. It's laid out very well. It's very clean, easy to use. But I just feel like the price is not justified, considering the materials that they give you when you look at other CPA review courses like Wiley, CPAexcel, and Roger, who are nearly half the price, but then give you very similar, if not better, technology and very similar, if not better, multiple choice questions and analytics and so forth. So there are a few positives with Becker, but again, I just don't feel like the price justifies the positives over the other courses. All right, future CPA. So question of the day, should you invest thousands of dollars, $3,400 to be exact, into Becker CPA Review? Well, we learned a lot about Becker CPA Review, how their dashboard is incredibly clean, the layout of the course, the video lectures, they're all top-notch, arguably some of the best in the industry. They do offer 6,000 multiple choice questions and 300 task-based simulations. They're kind of confusing adapt-to-you learning technology, which we learned isn't necessarily all that great. It's really just a pre-assessment to assess your knowledge over a particular topic. And it doesn't even prove that you understand it necessarily. They do include 2 mock exams per section, which will be good because it recreates the real exam setting. And then I do like their interactive study planner. It's very adjustable and so forth. They also offer live classes, so this is very unique. So if you're somebody who needs a place to go to study and learn and have a live instructor, then maybe Becker is the right choice for you. But again, to me, that's not necessarily worth it, and it just seems like a lot of driving, and your time could be spent better somewhere else self-studying. But again, if you're somebody who doesn't feel like you have the motivation to do this on your own, maybe that would be good to do that, a live classroom option. They also have the kind of gimmicky Accounting for Empires mobile app that you can play to learn a little bit, and I do like that their mobile app automatically synchronizes between the desktop and laptop software as well. And I should mention they also have 100+ hours of video lectures, but again, they're still into larger chunks than many of the other CPA review courses. So expect a lot of the lectures to be close to an hour long, 45 minutes, and so forth. So again, if your attention span is very short, maybe I would look for a course that has shorter, more bite-sized lectures as opposed to the big bulk lectures like Becker offers. And again, the price is $3,400, but there is an opportunity to sign up for 0% financing if you qualify. Now, to really be sure that Becker CPA Review is right for you, I highly recommend that you head to freecpaquiz.com. So this quiz is set up, and be sure to select the brand new CPA candidate option. I created this quiz to help you identify your study personality. So it's going to help you figure out how you learn best, and based on how you learn and what your study personality is, you can determine whether the features that Becker offers are going to really maximize how you learn. So again, if you're not somebody who really needs video lectures to learn, then I don't know if Becker would necessarily be a good choice for you, because their entire course revolves around these video lectures and highlighting and making notes in your textbook and so forth. So I was not that my study personality did not mesh well with Becker, and it was the reason that I failed all 4 sections in a row, because they were trying to force me to study in a way that doesn't really cater to how I learn, and it led to disaster. And it wasn't until I figured out how to study the right way for me that I was actually able to pass using Becker. But it just meant using a whole lot less of their resources that they require in order to qualify for the Becker Pass Promise. So again, freecpaquiz.com is really going to help you identify how you learn best and which CPA review course is going to get you there the fastest. So with all that being said, I can't knock Becker too much, because they did help me pass 2 sections of the CPA exam. But again, they have this very rigid study structure that if you don't fit their one-size-fits-all study plan, then you're not going to see the results that you really want. And for the price, at this point, I just can't recommend it if you're paying out of pocket. Now, if your firm is paying for it and your study personality matches up with a lot of what they have to offer, then that's when I would invest in Becker CPA Review. But if you're paying out of pocket and you're not sure of your study personality, then I would shy away and look at courses like Wiley CPAexcel, Roger, or Gleim as alternatives that are much more affordable and also have nearly identical, if not better technology built into their courses as well. So thanks again for watching. I really hope that this has been valuable. I tried to go as in-depth as possible into what Becker CPA Review offers, and they are the biggest CPA review course out there, but their customer support, their hours, and their chat functionality, it's very lacking. And just not very ideal, considering they're not very open on the weekends, and their pricing, and then their Becker Pass Promise is frustrating as well. So with that, I'll sign off. And again, there's a lot of details in the video description and the comment section below if you want to find additional resources that will help you pass the CPA exam even faster, regardless of whether you use Becker CPA Review or not. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.
Bye.